The breaking point. For centuries, the Galactic Council of Species prided itself on unity. 200 civilizations sat under its banners, guided by the Universal Peace Accords. At the center stood humanity, young, ambitious, endlessly curious. Yet on the 14th day of the Varna Summit, everything changed. Ambassador Elise Varan of Earth rose from a seat in the grand crystal chamber, her expression as cold as the stars outside. "The united human colonies," she said clearly, "hereby withdraw from these peace talks. Effective immediately." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Holographic translators flickered. The Council, the galaxy's most powerful alliance, had just been abandoned by one of its founding members. And in that silence, every being in attendance felt it. Something monumental had just broken. Seeds of distrust. The peace accords had once promised fairness. But over decades, that promise eroded. Human colonies were denied new trade routes, their research restricted, their defense fleets heavily monitored. Whenever Earth's representatives protested, the Council offered the same sterile reasoning, precautionary measures for interstellar balance. What they meant was fair. Human innovation had reshaped the galactic economy in a single generation. Their AI systems, terraforming drones, and hyperlane mapping had surpassed centuries of alien progress. The Council, once a symbol of cooperation, had begun to treat humanity like a threat. And so, patience gave way to quiet resentment. The day of departure, when Ambassador Varan spoke those words, she did so not out of anger, but exhaustion. Humanity had begged for equality, for transparency, for trust. They received only suspicion. As the human delegation stood, their ceremonial robes shimmered under the Citadel's light. Then, without another word, they turned and walked out. Moments later, the human fleet, hundreds of silver-white ships, activated their drives and vanished into hyperspace. No farewell, no promises, just silence. Galactic media labeled it the Great Withdrawal. Within hours, the news reached every corner of the spiral arms. The hashtag #HashEarthExits trended across the datawebs. But what the Council didn't know then was that the silence to come would be far more devastating. Cracks in the Council. At first, the Council dismissed humanity's exit as political theater. "They'll return," said Chancellor Sereth of Uvorn, his crystalline form refracting pale blue light. "Humans are impulsive. They always come back." But as months passed, the consequences unfolded. Trade routes collapsed. Colonies once reliant on human engineers and medical drones faced shortages. The Dravari shipyards, which depended on Terran alloys, shut down. Even the Council's defense grid began to fail. Human technicians had been the only ones capable of maintaining its complex AI core. It became clear the galaxy had not been sustaining humanity. Humanity had been sustaining the galaxy. Leaked truths. Whistleblowers soon exposed the truth behind the Council's arrogance. Classified communications revealed that powerful member species, the Vroken, the Sereth, and the Lirari, had secretly voted to limit human influence, fearing Earth's growing technological dominance. Council documents use phrases like containment policy and technological moderation. It wasn't diplomacy. It was sabotage. The revelation shattered public confidence. Citizens across member worlds demanded accountability. Protests erupted, with signs reading, "Let Earth go," and "We needed them more than they needed us." The Council's reputation, once sacred, was in ruins. The silent frontier. Meanwhile, humanity had gone quiet. Their communication relays went dark. Their colonies stopped responding to Council signals. Patrol fleets sent to investigate reported empty relay stations, abandoned outposts, and strange energy readings deep in the Orion Spur. Whispers spread through the void. The humans found something. They are building their own network. They made contact with the precursors. No proof ever surfaced, but the rumors alone were enough to unnerve the Council. A galaxy without humans. Without Earth's stabilizing presence, the Council fractured. Trade wars reignited. Old rivalries resurfaced. Minor systems began to secede. Historians later called this period the fractured decade. Desperate for balance, the Council launched Operation Reconciliation, sending envoys to the outer colonies in hopes of re-establishing contact with humanity. None returned. Then came the turning point. The return of the fleet. 3 years after the withdrawal, a distress signal echoed from the outer rim world of Alaris, a former human protectorate. Pirate forces had attacked, and the Council's nearest defense ships were weeks away. But before they could respond, something appeared in orbit. Witnesses describe it as a fleet of blackened silver vessels, human, but unlike any known design. They struck with surgical precision, disabling pirate ships in seconds before vanishing into the void. When the Council finally arrived, the only message left behind was a simple transmission encoded in Terran Standard. Do not follow. We protect our own. Realization and regret. The Galactic Council could no longer deny it. Humanity had evolved, technologically, militarily, and philosophically. They had moved beyond the Council's grasp. At a special summit, Chancellor Sereth addressed the Assembly. We treated them as children, not equals. We feared their potential when we should have shared in it. And now, they have surpassed us. The Council voted unanimously to issue a formal apology, something never done in galactic history. A transmission was sent across known space. To the people of Earth and her colonies, we recognize our failures. We ask not for forgiveness, but for dialogue. The stars are emptier without you. No response came. Echoes in the void. Years passed. Trade routes stabilized under new treaties, but the void where humanity once stood lingered. Cultural exchange dwindled. Innovation slowed. Some believed Earth had turned inward, focusing on self-sufficiency. Others whispered that humans were preparing for something greater, an expansion beyond the known galaxy itself. Then, one ordinary cycle, the Council's deep space arrays detected massive energy readings entering from the uncharted Perseus expanse. It was a fleet. Human. The second dawn. When the human ships arrived at Ilion Prime, the galaxy held its breath. They came not in anger, but in strength. Sleek vessels moved in perfect formation, their hulls engraved with a new insignia, the coalition of free worlds. Ambassador Elise Varan stood once again before the Council, unchanged, her voice steady. We left because peace had become control. We returned because peace should mean understanding. Her words carried the weight of centuries. The Council listened, truly listened, for the first time. Together, they drafted a new accord, one that valued equality over hierarchy, cooperation over fear. On the anniversary of Earth's withdrawal, both sides signed the new Galactic Concord, marking a rebirth of interstellar unity. Legacy of the withdrawal. Historians would one day teach this as a great lesson of humanity, that peace cannot survive through dominance, and trust cannot grow from fear. Humanity's withdrawal wasn't a retreat. It was a reminder. In walking away, they forced the galaxy to evolve. In returning, they proved that forgiveness was stronger than pride. And across the stars, a new saying took root. When humans leave, the light dims. When they return, the stars shine brighter.